When they hear the sound of the drum, they'll be saying, oh Lord, here they come. Yeah, here we come. Here we come. Here we come. Here we come. I used to think that people die because they wicked. Nowadays people want to see you dead because you gifted. Been ready for my tomb since I came up out the womb. So no matter what, I'm coming back and paying you a visit. Saw it coming, I predicted, but y'all wouldn't listen. No, you can't protect your riches if you never burn bridges. Flip pages, went places, made changes, still dangerous. Now I'm back, altercation, hold still. I make it painless how it feel, baby. You know the drill, baby. Yeah. And when you hear the sound of the drum, we'll be saying, here we come. Yeah, here we come. Hey, here we come. Here we come. Here we come.
Bienvenidos, aloha, welcome into TarTV. Alex Crawford and the old coach, Mark Todd, here for the home opener, the season opener for Newport Harbor Boys Lacrosse. We joined the game 56 seconds into it, and the Sailors already up 1-0 over Beckman. Luke Barnes with the opening goal of the game and the opening goal of the season. Coach, we haven't had Sailors Lacrosse. Another shot there by the Sailors, and defended nicely by the Beckman goalie. Coach, we haven't had Sailors Lacrosse in 365 days. Last time we had a game here, your Sailors, you were still the coach of the team, not your brother, who's in his first year, David Todd. Your Sailors beat up on Tesoro, and then the world stopped about 24 hours later, and we haven't played lacrosse since. So it's good to be back at Davidson. It's good to have Sailors Lacrosse here in front of us.
It was fantastic. We were the first time to ever brought TarTV to broadcast, simulcast a game from Davidson. And it was a great sports event for the school. Unfortunately, it was the last one of the 2020 season. And, we got loaded up on the bus going down to San Clemente, and the JV was getting off the bus when the athletic directors called and said, it's done. And there was no more lacrosse after that.
Yeah, well, so this is our first game back. You're no longer the head coach. Your brother's in charge here. First year, head coach, first season at the helm of the Sailors, looking for his first win of his career. How does it feel to be up here in the broadcast booth and not down on the sideline? I can still tell, you've got the coach's mentality shot there by Patterson.
It's much more relaxing.
But I can tell you still got that game day energy. You did the pregame announcements, shot sails to the right of the goal. That was Luke Barnes
Luke
again.
Barnes dropped his left shoulder there. That made the ball sail up a little bit high and right of the net. All right, they're doing a play here called this is an inbound play, and they got their second look that they wanted off of it, not the primary look, and almost a Beckman pickoff there as the Sailors continue to spread it out and try to space out the defenders.
That's Logan Atkins with it. They go behind the goal. That's the X position, right, Coach? The X position behind the goal?
That is the X position behind the goal, and a super player back there. This is what a story. This is Aiden Brutman. Aiden Brutman, this is his first varsity game as a player. He made the varsity team as a freshman, but with consecutive injury after injury, and some of that I had to do with it probably, and poor Aiden, he's now a junior getting his first start at Newport Harbor High School. And there he is.
And there he is with a goal. Aiden Brutman. First start, first game in a year, and he finds pay dirt. Sailors up 2-0 over Beckman.
Great job, Aiden.
First goal, first time varsity in 3 years, Aiden Brutman.
Now, Coach Mark Todd is doing double duty here. We're going to have to get someone to do PA unless you want to handle both, Coach, but you're doing color commentary on the live stream, and you're occasionally taking your headset off, grabbing the mic, and doing PA here at Davidson. So
you definitely don't want me screaming into the headset.
Well, I'm saying you're saying it's more relaxing up here, but you still got that coach's mentality, trying to do it all.
Well, that's what I was trying to tell my brother, that there's so much stuff going on game day that you'll see why I was kind of tense before the game. When I normally would like to be kind of loose. I was more loose at away games than I was at home games because there's so many other things you have to manage.
Luke Barnes taking it behind the goal, wrapping around.
That's a nice draw and
feed
dump.
And a goal.
Another great shot by Aiden Brutman on a great assist by Luke Barnes, who drew the slide and made it an easy 2-on-1 play.
So Brutman, in his first varsity game, has 2 goals back-to-back to put the Sailors up 3-0 with 8:08 to go here in the first. Harbor pouring it on over Beckman. Both teams in their first game this season.
Hey, unless it's in the last 2 minutes. Okay, in the last 2 minutes, then it stops.
And we got a face-off, kicked and scooped up. Well, I spoke too soon. Not scooped up by the Sailors. Beckman really haven't had possession on their side of the midfield line, Coach.
And that's a great testament to the 3 great face-off guys that Newport Harbor has. And A.J. Brown, who just actually let it sail there, a little sidearm pass. He was trying to get a no-look sidearm pass to his wing attackman, who was Brosnan over there, and they've just made it sail a little bit too high. So this is Newport Harbor on their first ride attempt against Beckman's first clear attempt. And the ride succeeds and takes away the ball from Beckman, and Newport Harbor's back on offense. And a real simple draw.
Will Patterson. That was Will Patterson there with the takeaway for the Sailors.
It just hit off the top of Aiden Brutman's head, as Lacrosse head, as he went to go to catch the ball and just kind of pooched it a little bit there. So Newport Harbor's back in the ride. Beckman found the far sideline away from us on their bench side to clear the ball up, and Beckman's going to have their first opportunity to try to go to the net here against the Newport Harbor defense. You'll see the Newport Harbor defense is pressing out a little bit with great athleticism. While all these guys are first-year starters on the defense, they're super athletic. They were all varsity guys last year, and some of them did double duty where they started on JV and came up to varsity if we needed them. And we're definitely going to be a part of our playoff team as we had hopefully intended to move on to the next level.
Well, Coach, you lost 17 seniors. This team lost 17 seniors. That was your last year, your 10th year coaching last year for Newport Harbor. 17 seniors departed. So a lot of young guys here getting first-time varsity reps today for your brother's squad.
Yeah, it's very exciting for them. I know our JV lost the first game 4-3. 80% of those players never played lacrosse before. So that's quite a testament. So that means, 80%, that means like 3 guys on your field or 3 guys on your team. There's only 10 guys on the field, and you got guys on the bench. So you got maybe 3 guys that played before Newport Harbor on the JV team. And that's going to be a struggle for them as they look to feather the bed in the next coming years. But a lot of these guys out here are young. They're not only first-time players on the varsity level, but they're also many sophomores and juniors. There's definitely quite a few seniors too. The first 10 guys, first 10 starters out are all seniors.
Shot by Beckman misses, but the Harbor goalkeeper, Snyder, mishandled it. Now he cleans it up.
Yeah.
And there was some good defense by Will Patterson on that possession as well for the Sailors. Coach, obviously you got a pretty good finger on the pulse of this program with your brother as the head coach and you coming off your 10th season as the Sailors coach. What are the expectations for the team this year? Down 17 seniors and playing, dealing with COVID, bouncing back after a year off. What are the team's expectations?
I don't know if they've dropped so much because everybody's had to deal with COVID. Every program out there has had to deal with the same, problem. And, it's shortened off seasons, shortened practices, some people were just going rogue about it. And the Newport Harbor guys, particularly David in his first year coaching, definitely did not want to go rogue about it and create any problems. So he followed the guidelines by the CDC and the Newport Mesa Unified School District, and they have not practiced. So they look a little bit raw.
I don't know. I mean, 3-0 here halfway through the first quarter. They look good to me.
But what I mean by these kids are so talented. They're going to be after they get their goosebumps off of this game, and I would expect to see them even actually improve each quarter as we go on.
Turnover. Here comes Beckman back on the counterattack. They haven't got a lot of looks down in there.
That's a great defensive play. Great defensive play by Connor Nordstrom.
Great save by the Beckman, Brendan Harley from Beckman. Got to give him credit for saving that out of bounds. And
that's going to be a loose ball. That's going to be a push with possession. Unfortunately, they could have really fought harder for that ground ball. They kind of let Beckman pick it up right there at the midfield line, and didn't contest as well as they could. That's a push with possession also.
So just to explain to our viewers who might not have watched as much lacrosse as you, official throws the flag, penalty, but because Beckman had possession, they're able to run the play out until Harbor gets the ball back, correct?
Yes, essentially they have a chance to make it a 2-point play on a personal foul, where they could score, and then the man serves the penalty time, depending upon the foul. And once he serves the penalty time, if he's in the penalty box, then Beckman would be on man up, just as they are right now. So this is Newport Harbor. Actually, they got 2 penalties on there, 2 flags on that, which I called actually, and we just didn't see the flag on the second foul. But there we are. We got 2 men down.
Okay, so this is a double power play.
Yeah.
What's the you got to forgive me, Coach. Lacrosse is not my first or second language, but what's the terminology for that?
Okay, so what we're going to do here in this situation, we're going to essentially play a box or a diamond formation, depending upon the rotation of the ball, right? So right now what will happen is Newport Harbor, each guy is splitting 2 guys on the backside, meaning each defenseman is trying to should have a guy to his left and to his right, and that's why you see them looking over their back shoulders to each side to make sure they got guys covered so they cover any cutters. That's a good shot and a good save by Jerome Snyder.
Snyder getting in the goal, replacing Garrett Rovazini, who was the goalkeeper last year.
Garrett Rovazini went to Hartford Community College, where he was beginning to start over the Team Canada U19 goalie.
Wow.
And only came back home after his dad's having some health issues, and so Garrett came home to help out the family.
Luke Barnes crossing midfield on the attack.
Touched it in a box, so that means they have 20 seconds to get it across the midfield and into the offensive box.
Got it.
There.
So he goes down, he gets it into the attack box, the offensive side, and then he's able to go back. And
that's right.
Now, Coach, question here from the scores table, actually, but I think it might be informative for our audience. How many minutes in between quarters is the break? Typically 5 minutes in between quarters. Typically 5 minutes in between quarters, and how long is halftime?
20 minutes.
20-minute halftime.
Excuse me, 10 minutes.
10-minute halftime.
Yeah.
10-minute halftime. 5 between quarters, 10-minute halftime. Got it.
Today is kind of an adjusted schedule because there was a scheduling issue with Beckman sending out their varsity to the first game, which was the JV game. So Beckman showed up, and Newport's JV was on the field, warming up, getting ready to play. So the Beckman varsity guys have been here since pretty early this morning, right?
Waiting around.
While their JV had to hustle, jump off the bus, and get a practice. So as a result, sometimes the referees will go to the coaches and talk about in a matter of time, because many of these refs will officiate here and then go to another stadium to officiate at another game. So depending upon their commute time, they might try to be more expeditious for the times off.
Got it. Well, we'll keep an eye on that. We thank everybody who's tuned in on the TarTV live stream. Reduced attendance numbers due to COVID, so everyone who's tuning in or maybe watching post-game, we thank you for joining us. Alex Crawford, Mark Todd here with you. Former coach, 10 years at Harbor, 6 years at CDM. We don't like to talk about that. 2019 Sunset League champs. And the team looked like they were finally starting to gel, finally starting to get rolling last year, 3-1 when the season ended. 17 seniors, that must have been tough for you to have the season end so quickly and not get to finish it out or see it through for those seniors.
Absolutely heartbreaking. I've had the pleasure of coaching many of these kids since 5th grade. And they've all played with each other since 5th grade, and we're very cohesive. We're very good friends, had great chemistry, and we didn't even get to have a sports banquet. So, these guys, really one of the best, greatest teams to ever play here at Newport Harbor, got no applause or recognition at the end of the season. So here we are after the timeout.
Will Patterson advances it up to Luke Barnes. Luke Barnes, one of my favorite guys on the Newport Harbor Hoops team as well. As he feeds it, nice
play.
Pass,
Great
and another
play.
Harbor goal. Number 35, Owen Bronson.
From Luke Barnes.
From Luke Barnes. Barnes with a goal in this game and an assist. Brosnan with his first goal of the game. Sailors lead 4-0. 2:31 to go here in the first quarter. 4-0 Sailors over Beckman, opening game of the season for both teams. 1 goal from Luke Barnes, 2 from Aiden Brutman, and 1 there from Owen Brosnan. Luke Barnes on the assist there.
That was a really nice play. So what happened is Beckman tried to roll up to Patterson and try to do a double team, leaving Barnes wide open on the low wing. They just dropped it down to Barnes, and Barnes drew the next slide, which was a cross-crease slide from Owen Brosnan's man, and Owen finished the shot.
Mason Williams won the face-off for the Sailors, and Beckman came away with the steal. They'll try to advance it here. They've got, 20 seconds to get that in the box?
That's right.
They do. And they'll set up their attack. The final 2 minutes of the first quarter, down 4-0. The Sailors lead here in their home opener, their season opener in their first game in 365 days.
To the day.
To the day, which is somewhat poetic that we were able to finally get back in here. Probably felt good for you, Coach, to be back in here, see a lot of familiar faces.
So many great families here in Newport Harbor, and the lacrosse families, are now intertwined with a lot of the other sporting programs, like you mentioned, Luke Barnes playing basketball. We have 3 guys here that are actually 4 guys that are on the football team.
Shot by Beckman, saved by Snyder. Well, I see a couple guys out here, Coach, just to finish your thought for you, that I saw playing under the lights last night here football.
That's right.
Charlie Durante, and who else out there? Noah Fogelman. Joe Nip is injured right now.
Yeah, Joe Nip is injured, and then
Jonathan
Shex.
Yeah, a couple guys out here.
Nice look inside, and a nice shot and finish there. The assist came from the assist came from, it looked like Patterson, and another goal by Aiden Brutman.
Aiden Brutman with the hat trick in his first varsity game. We'll credit the assist to Will Patterson. 5-0 Sailors lead, 1:16 to go in the first quarter.
All right, that's the first draw that Beckman won clean. Well, they kind of had it off the first ground ball, and now it's a.
Is that a foul against the Sailors there?
Yeah, they I guess they called a loose ball push there. So they give Beckman the possession. And let's see what Beckman can answer with on offense. Just going a straight ISO, straight to the goal.
Misses, out of bounds. Possession will remain with Beckman. Final minute of the quarter. Sailors with 5 goals here in the first. Got to feel good.
Definitely
Shake off
a
the
great
rust.
start. And that's what I think is going to happen. To elaborate what I was talking about before, I think as the game goes on, you'll see them start to get a little bit more loose and a little bit more aggressive.
Final 35 seconds of the quarter. Beckman on the attack. Donut on the scoreboard for them. Nice defense there by Dylan.
Dylan Wanch is just a wonderful kid. It's super easy to coach, and he's probably one of the most underrated defensemen in the county. He's an exceptional player. There's a shot off of a Newport Harbor helmet, and it bounced out of bounds. And oh my God! So Charlie Durante was chasing the ball, thinking he had the possession. But since the Beckman guy was closer to the sideline, where and when it went out, Beckman gets the possession, not Newport Harbor. It's a good look inside, but Dylan Watts was there to knock it down.
Clock sounds, and that does it at the end of one. Sailors shaking the rust off. 5-0. They lead over Beckman here in the opening lacrosse game of the season for both teams. We'll take a quick breather. When we come back, second quarter action. Sailors up 5-0. You're watching Newport Harbor Boys Lacrosse on TarTV. Welcome back into TarTV, Saturday afternoon at Davidson Field, and the second quarter is underway. Sailors lead 5-0 over the Beckman Patriots, opening game of the season for both teams, and a whole lot of guys getting involved for the Sailors. None more important in this game than Aiden Brutman. As you were mentioning, Coach, first varsity game, and he's already got a hat trick here.
He's got a lot of pent-up scoring left to to get out of his system.
And that's Will Patterson. He had a nice assist earlier in this game. Obviously flipped the field here, so Sailors are on the other side. A nice shot. Sails left, and that will be possession Newport Harbor. So, Coach, dumb it down for me. Lacrosse newbie here. Why did the Sailors retain possession there?
Okay, it's when the ball goes out of bounds, which player is closest to the
Got
end
it,
line,
okay.
But where the ball is on the end line when it went out of bounds.
Got it.
So Newport was
So you
there.
get the hustle gets rewarded.
Absolutely.
I like that about
So
Lacrosse.
if a defenseman decided to outrun his attackman to the end line, that's an unforgivable sin for an attackman.
Got it.
To let a defenseman beat him to the end line and get the possession. That's a nice pick and roll play right there. That's Luke Barnes' basketball skills coming in.
Yeah, for sure. Luke Barnes, scrappy guard for the Hoops team. I enjoyed watching him last year. And one of the captains here, a senior on this Lacrosse team. Shot there and a goal.
Great job by Owen Brosnan to draw another double and then kick it out to number one.
Paul Jensen. Paul Jensen, and that was
first goal as a senior.
Owen Brosnan has one goal in this game, and now he's got himself an assist. So 6-0. Sailors lead, 10:36 to go here in the second quarter. Paul Jensen finding pay dirt. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different Sailors involved in scoring. Excuse me, 4 different Sailors involved in scoring here this afternoon. Coach, your brother taking over the helm of the Sailor ship.
He's doing a great job. You know, everybody on the staff stayed in place. We got almost a loose ball push there. But, yeah, the entire staff stayed intact. Taylor Gesquire is the offensive coordinator. Tom Michaela is the defensive coordinator. And David is now just taking over the head coach. And Andreas Gaynor, who came from university. And interestingly, I took over coaching for Andreas, who coached the year before me, before I came to Newport Harbor.
Okay, wow. Great lacrosse coaching lineage. Luke Barnes has it. And up top to Logan Atkins. Now Will Patterson. Sailors patient here. Patterson lost it, gets it back. Sailors lead 6-0 in the opening game of the season. Will Patterson blocked by the Beckman goalkeeper.
Oh, it looked like they had a goalie interference on the play there. The goalie's trying to call for it. He's saying he was inside the crease, and do the refs agree? It looks like the referees agreed.
So it'll be Beckman possession.
A shout out to Taryn Rodriguez, who's also looking to cover the game for Max. For
Max Lax.
Max Lax, yeah. That's a great ground ball situation.
Oh, nice. Scooped up by Jensen. He has the last Sailors goal. See if he can get another one here. He's fighting for it. Luke Barnes coming in there. Fight for the loose ball. Charlie Durante
gets the hit, plays the man, not the ball, and the ball goes the other way.
And there's Patterson on the steal, the captain.
Will Patterson's such a slippery character. I mean, you may think you have him lined up, and he just goes right around you.
Owen Brosnan on the far side of the field has it. And shout out to Taryn Rodriguez. We appreciate all the coverage he gives for all Sailors athletics. He knows more about Harbor athletics than anyone. And the goals in this game coming from Aiden Brutman, Luke Barnes, Owen Brosnan, and Paul Jensen. I don't know the order, but I know that's who scored.
Yeah.
Charlie Durante with a nice move. Whips a shot in.
Great split dodge up the top there. Good save by the goalie from Beckman, and it kicks it out to his midfielder right away, and they got a nice clear working here right now.
Let's see if they can clear it in time. They do, and Beckman sets up shop on the attack. The Patriots down 6-0. Halfway through this second quarter.
You know, Beckman has a couple of ideas. It looks, a couple guys that can play. looks like they just need to work a little bit more on their teamwork in a sense that we've seen that all their shots on goal have all been from isolation dodges, guys just going one-on-one and not moving the ball. Where we see Newport Harbor on the other side having most of their goals on assists.
And what's that, a timeout?
Yeah, timeout by Beckman.
Now, Coach, you're saying a lot of ISO plays, a lot of one-on-one stuff from the Patriots. What would you draw up if you were their head coach?
Well, definitely something that maybe you get the ball in the Dodgers' hands to try to draw a slide and free up one of the guys on the backside. That's exactly what Newport Harbor's been doing, but more organically in just a general flow of their offense. And so I'm sure the Beckman coach is trying to get the ball into a shooter's hand, but probably not originating the play, but finishing the play.
We talked about your team last year, 17 seniors. You were coming off the 2019 year where you won Sunset League. You only got to play 4 games. The season was canceled. But some of those seniors, like you mentioned, Garrett Rovazini was playing over at Hartford Community College, but you said Aiden Goltz over at Bryant University in Rhode Island. He's having a nice year.
Amazing. He got the New England Conference Rookie of the Week last week as he scored 4 goals against, I believe it was Merrimack they were playing. He did a great job. Aiden is 6'2", 220 pounds, all muscle and hustle. He's a wonderful kid to coach. He's a great citizen. He's a great student. And Coach Pressler, his head coach, when I was talking to the Goltz's family about coaches that are good influence, I mentioned Coach Pressler, who happened to be the Duke coach when the Duke debacle went down about the alleged rape case. Coach Pressler was wrongfully terminated and sued the university and made quite a nice bid for himself in the lawsuit. And then Bryant was the only school to take a chance with him, as you may have seen in the 60-minute piece. Coach Pressler has been recruited to many schools to coach at. He's a good man of character, and a great lacrosse mind. And he chose to stay at Bryant. Well, first of all, he doesn't need the money anymore. And secondly, Bryant's the only one that gave him a chance when everybody thought he was taboo. And God bless him and their whole program. They have a nice core of kids. Interesting thing we were talking about earlier. Let's go back to game time. We'll bring that in later.
Okay, I've got some questions for you, too.
Yeah.
Well, just about lacrosse in general. Here comes Beckman after the timeout. The Patriots still seeking their first goal of the game. Newport Harbor pitching a shutout here. They drop the play, and they find the back of the net.
Yeah, and so what happened there was number 4 from the attack left wing came in off the wing and picked the crease because they were anticipating a slide from the crease, and that is how they scored.
So 6-1, just as I give a shout-out to the Newport Harbor defense for pitching the shutout. Beckman touches the twine for the first time this afternoon. 6-1, your score. Still in favor of the Sailors. 7:16 to go here in the second quarter. But we were talking about Aiden Goltz, and I was meeting with head coach Peter Lofthouse from the football team before the season started and talked about Goltz as a guy they were going to miss. We look out here at the lacrosse field. We're talking about Goltz as a guy the lacrosse team misses. So just an all-around great Sailor athlete, Aiden Goltz.
Yeah, and a great kid, a great citizen. You know, he's going to do great things. Nice ground ball off the face-off to the wingman.
That is
Troy Kennedy. Who
Trevor Emerson in the game now with a shot and takes a lick.
The attack is riding hard. I think that's Newport's strength, and it's historically been one of our strengths here, is our riding game. They seem to find a spot there, but they're not cleared yet. There it is, a nice takeaway. The kid recovers it really well and kicks it down to the left wing.
Now it's cleared by Beckman. Good shot on goal. Skips over the top of the goalkeeper's head, but
there you go. There's
hustle rewarded.
Yeah, exactly.
The Cardinal sin, as you mentioned.
Yeah, and that's Jerome Snyder hustling back there from the goalie position. Beckman didn't have a guy behind the net to back it up. And here's Newport Harbor on the clear. It looks like they gave it to Noah Chappelle, who's probably the fastest kid on the field. He's 6'4", and runs like a 4.5, 4.4, somewhere.
Wow.
Yeah, he's a super athlete.
Noah Chappelle wearing number 55 for the Sailors. Coach, you pointed out these are new jerseys for Newport Harbor?
New jerseys, new shorts, new look, new helmets, new
looks good.
Stickers. Yeah, fortunately Newport Harbor has great colors to work with.
Oh, for sure.
Beckman does too.
The navy and gray.
Yeah, navy gray and the white. And
well, I had my color commentator for water polo, former Newport Harbor standout Andy Hayes. He called it blue and silver the other day, and we had to admonish him. We said, no, this is navy and gray.
Yeah,
this isn't blue and silver.
The long gray line.
The long gray line, exactly. You got to respect it. Beckman back on attack. Defense there by Bryce Macbeth, another captain on this team.
So Beckman's beginning to use a lot more picks right now. You see right there, they used the pick to free the guy who was carrying the ball, which drew a slide upfield, which freed up the attackman from the side to finish that shot.
Aiden Geffney, the junior midfielder, with the goal for Beckman. 6-2 now, your score. Back-to-back goals for the Patriots. Sailors still up by 4.
I unfortunately did get a call to shout out the Beckman kids scoring the first 2 goals. I apologize.
Well, you know
I meant
what?
no diss to them.
Coach, I know you're wearing 2 hats here today. Kind of wearing 3 hats, really. You're doing color commentary on TarTV. You're decided to hop on the PA because we're down a PA announcer at today's game. In the home opener, you can't not have a PA announcer at the home opener. And I know you've still got the coaching hat on a little bit.
Oh, yeah. And there's a great draw from Mason Williams to Troy Kennedy. These guys have been doing it since they were just, youth league lacrosse players. And I've seen them do that 100 times.
Kennedy clears that one. And timeout by head coach David Todd and his staff.
That's a good timeout. Troy was being triple teamed there. He didn't want to give up the possession, so he called the timeout. Even though Troy was able to get his own ground ball and kick it out to a wingman who was uncovered, I see why he called the timeout at that moment. Particularly, it's a good time, 5 minutes and 13 seconds left in the second quarter, particularly after you gave up 2 unanswered goals. Let's see what we can do and settle down and take time off the clock and finish with the shot.
365 days since the last Newport Harbor lacrosse game. They seem to have shaken the rust off right from the get-go. What have you seen from the Sailors that you like thus far, Coach?
Pretty much everything. I'm pretty. These kids are just wonderful because I know they're excited to play. I mean, think about it. These kids haven't had a year to play lacrosse. That alone, win or lose, is a victory, a moral victory in its own kind of way. Offensively, when they get it down there, what happens is a lot of times in high school games, when you get up on a team, you start playing a little bit too loose.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a matter of still keeping that focus. And I think the last 2 possessions they had, they looked a little loose, and they looked a little loose on the rides and clears to make sure they covered the ball and keep it in their offensive half. Let's see where they come out here in the second half. And kudos to Beckman calling a very good timeout earlier. Beckman's used. Now what we're seeing with Beckman, which they didn't do before. Remember, before we talked about Beckman, everybody's going ISO. They weren't using team play. Now the last 2 goals came off an on-ball pick on the first goal and an off-ball pick on the second goal. So they're definitely playing more of a team-related game, and it showed in the scoreboard.
Will Patterson passes it into Atkins. And now that's Aiden Brutman with a hat trick in this game. 3 goals in his first varsity game for Brutman. He has it there behind the goal line. Is that what you'd call that?
The goal line extended.
Goal line extended. Shot goes right into the goalie stick. Logan Atkins uncorking that one. And
that's a tough shot. Logan's running across the face of the goal and shooting across his body, and he had momentum headed to the sideline instead of towards the goal. That little tune-up right there will make a huge difference in the velocity of his shot.
Mishandled pass scooped up there by Will Patterson, cleaning up the garbage.
Another great ride by Newport Harbor.
And here comes Patterson. Inside feed, shot.
Oh, off the crossbar.
Off the crossbar. A great feed by Patterson. Found Aiden Brutman, who was thinking 4th goal of the afternoon.
Yep.
And I see what you mean
like
about the ride from the Sailors, Coach. Yep. I mean, it's just Beckman is harassed their whole way down the length of the field.
That's exactly right. Don't let them relax, especially when, as you see, Beckman subbing guys in to try to get fresh legs, and it just costs them right there.
Here comes Atkins, scoops it up. Pushes it ahead for the Sailors.
The attack is kind of sitting a little flat-footed there. They weren't moving to give him space.
He tried to get it to Brutman. Brutman comes up with it, takes some contact, and resets.
Owen Brosnan is across the field, across the top, and that's probably his easiest pass right now. But I think Aiden's trying to reset the field. They have their attackman inverted right now.
Now Brosnan has it.
Their 3 middies are inside, and their 3 attackmen are on the perimeter. That's Will Patterson. He's playing an attack position right now, but he's a midi.
Scoops around, shot. Good look by Patterson.
And there's a flag down. That's definitely a late hit.
That's going to go against Beckman. So Sailors will retain possession and get a power play here?
Yes.
Man up?
Man up play. And this will be interesting to see what Newport Harbor does in their man up play. If they're going to be, knowing that Coach Gesquire is running the offense, I would imagine that they're going to be doing one of our plays from last year that worked pretty well. Just curious to see which one they're
well,
run.
you let me know
Yeah.
what you see when they run it. I'm curious, Like I played lacrosse in junior high, surf dogs. Maybe our paths crossed back then.
Yeah, that's when I was over at CDM.
But you wouldn't have known me for, I wasn't any good is what I'm saying. You wouldn't have known who I was. But it's been a long time.
I know every kid, whether they're good or bad.
Well,
especially youth lacrosse, as long as their check's clear. I'm joking.
As long as well, my check's cleared, but I didn't stick with the sport. It was not, it was awesome. But I bring all that up just to say I'm a lacrosse rookie. I'm a lacrosse newbie. I don't understand the sport like you do. So you just tell me what you see.
You got it.
Teach me the game, Coach. Teach me the game.
So this looks like they're running Cardinal. This is the play we had last year called Cardinal, and looks like that's what they're going to rotate it. Yep, and there's the shot. Not the ideal shot. We had Charlie is a good shooter, but the problem with that was he hesitated on the shot. So the goalie was able to set his feet. The best
Harbor with the ride once again.
Yeah.
Gets the takeaway and comes back on attack. I don't have time of possession notes.
Another push from behind. And I guess he stepped out of bounds. They pushed him out of bounds. So possession goes to back.
Oh, interesting. Possession goes to Beck. Even though that looked like a dirty hit on that play, possession goes to Beckman, huh?
So he went out of bounds before the hit.
Got it. Okay. Well, here come the Patriots.
Which, interestingly enough, should have been another foul and changed possession back to Newport Harbor because it was a hit after he went out of bounds.
Patriots with the last 2 goals in this game. 2:25 to go in the second quarter, and Harbor's up by 4, 6-2. But it's a 2-0 Beckman run in this second quarter. Patriots on the attack.
It's interesting to see Newport Harbor playing. See all these on-ball picks and off-ball picks they're putting out there. That's Noah Fogelman, who was out there earlier. Now Troy Kennedy switched and picked him up.
Noah Fogelman saw him last night playing linebacker for the Sailors in the football game. Shot by Beckman, hits the back of the net. 3 straight goals for them.
And that was number 8 from Beckman, and he had a nice opportunity to score there.
Brendan Harley
over Charlie Durante, the short stick midi, who was about 5 yards off of his stick, giving him a nice cushion there to go ahead and fire a high shot to the top right-hand corner over stick side high over Jerome Snyder.
6-3 score favors the Sailors, but it's been 3 straight goals by the Patriots here in the second with 1:59 to go until halftime.
We got to see if we can stop the bleeding in Newport Harbor here.
Well, they went up 6-0, and now Beckman starting to find their footing here in the second quarter, fight their way back. Like you said, I think they stopped playing some of that ISO ball. Sailors have done a good job on the face-off as it ends up in the stick of Jonathan Checks.
And a good double team on the sideline by Beckman. Ideally, we want to stay away from the sideline, particularly the substitution box when you're carrying the ball. It's a good look across field.
Oh, nice find by Patterson. He got it to Brosnan. Shot misses. Harbor retains possession. It's Brutman.
That's Charlie Durante.
Oh,
wide open again.
Bounces
shot
off the ground and in. Charlie Durante.
To the backside.
With his first goal of the season. He was suited up playing safety for the Sailors last night in their win against Yorba Linda on the football field. And now finds the back of the net to stop the 3-0 Beckman run. And Sailors go up 7-3 with 90 seconds to go. Assist to Aiden Brutman. Mark 1 tally in the assist category for him. He's got 3 goals in this game and now 1 assist.
I tell you, Aiden Brutman is just a joy of a kid to have on your team. He's a great locker room guy. He's a great kid to coach. His family is just magnificent. They really support the program, support the school, support a lot of programs, actually. And they are just a first-class family, and he's a first-class kid, and it's just a joy to watch him play. That's Mason Williams with a draw to himself off the faceoff.
And he pushes it ahead. Harbor on the attack. That's Luke Barnes over in the corner. Far side of the field has it.
So Luke is holding the ball right now. They're trying to sub off their players. As you see, Newport Harbor is getting guys through the substitution box right now. So they're trying to get their matchups.
Will Patterson checks back into the game for the Sailors. And he's got it.
Will's got probably the best matchup because he's being defended by a short stick. But Aiden's going to try to get a topside sweep and cuts back under.
Now they get it behind the goal to the X position. Brosnan had it. Luke Barnes again. Final minute of this quarter. Barnes inside Patterson.
Did it go in? No, it looked like it bounced out. The goalie saved it, kicked it out. Just great play, good look across the crease.
Fight for the ball between Beckman and Harbor, and Luke Barnes cleans up the garbage.
Nice swim move,
and he
but a
lost
great
his
recovery
stick.
check.
Oh, man. I think Barnes was looking at the goal and then looked down and the stick was out of his hands, but that was a nice move by the senior Luke Barnes.
And a great home run check from the defenseman from Beckman, who actually got beat. He was outside of Luke. Luke was to the inside of him, and he just kind of swung the stick and caught Luke hanging the butt end.
Final 15 seconds of this second quarter. Sailors lead 7-3. Beckman trying to get one last look before halftime. They feed it ahead. 5 seconds on the clock. Going to have to uncork a long shot. 2-1. Shot is to the left of the goal, and the horn sounds for halftime. Beckman went on a 3-0 run in that quarter, but the Sailors found their footing, struck back. Charlie Durante found pay dirt, and 7-3 your score at halftime. We'll take a quick breather. When we come back, we'll have some halftime stats and analysis for you, and we'll get set for the third quarter. Your score, Sailors 7, Patriots 3. You are watching Newport Harbor Boys Lacrosse on TarTV. Welcome back in to TarTV. Alex Crawford, Mark Todd with you here. Halftime winding down. It's like a football score on the scoreboard over there. 7-3 Sailors lead. Tell you how they got here. Aiden Brutman with 3 goals in his varsity debut. Luke Barnes has a goal and an assist. I should mention Brutman has an assist as well. Will Patterson with an assist. Owen Brosnan with a goal and an assist. And Paul Jensen on the scoreboard as well for the Newport Harbor Sailors. 7 goals for them, 3 for Beckman. Coach, what have you liked from Harbor in their season opener thus far?
You know, it looks like they're brushing the rust off pretty quick. At first, I thought they might have been jittery because we saw a few errant passes that hit off the tops of kids' sticks, but they kind of settled in that first quarter. And then I guess they wanted to get their defense some action and give Beckman the ball in the second quarter, and they certainly did. And Beckman certainly played a lot better in the second quarter. They started playing more team-oriented ball, getting both on-ball picks and off-ball picks, and getting multiple players involved instead of just doing one-on-one ISO plays. Isolation plays.
We'll get ready here. Sailors coming out. Sailors pumped up, like we've mentioned a lot on this broadcast. The last time Newport Harbor played was 1 year ago today. That game against Tesoro moved Harbor, your Newport Harbor squad, to 3-1. And then 24 hours, 48 hours later, the world shut down, and we haven't had high school sports since. We haven't had high school lacrosse since. It's back. It's a beautiful day at Davidson Field. Little bit of a chill in the air. Just a perfect day for lacrosse.
It really is a perfect day for lacrosse. And that nice breeze, because these guys are doing sprints up and down the field, so it just keeps them just a little bit cooler. Plus, they're wearing all their gear.
Face off to start. The third period here is won again by the Sailors. That's Mason Williams. He's looked nice out there on the face-off.
That's a penalty from late hit from behind. That's how actually you see the leg brace on Mason. That's what happened to him when he actually blew his knee out. Was a late hit from behind. So that's an unnecessary penalty by the attackman from Beckman. And
well, what's the strategy here, Coach? So there's the flags on the field, and Luke Barnes just patient with it right across midfield. So what's the strategy with the penalty for the Sailors?
So they're going to try to get a 2-point play here. So what happened was Luke was waiting till all the middies subbed off. They got their face-off personnel off, and now they got their shooters on. And so what they're going to try to do is probably just get it looked like they're just working around. They're not looking to do a set play, but just kind of run the offense organically. They're running an open set right now, so that means no one's on the crease. Everyone's on the perimeter.
Charlie Durante with it. Played in the football game last night, suited up this morning, and got on the lacrosse field. So big kudos to him.
He's got to be a little sore.
Oh, certainly. Luke Barnes dancing around the perimeter.
That should be a push. No call there.
Ball on the turf. Now whistle dead. So
yeah.
Penalty coming in. Mason Williams shoved in the back. And possession will be retained by Newport Harbor with, what, a man up here?
Yeah, man up. That should be a 1-minute possession penalty.
So 1 minute man up power play for the Sailors.
And I don't know. I didn't get a chance to meet with this crew here to see who's officiating. But we have a 2-man crew here, which have kept the flags in their pocket for the most part. I think that's Jeff Melnick, who's an official on the near side, and the far side, I can't really see who that may be. Mr. Ogeron.
Barnes has it over far side to Patterson. Sailors look to set up their attack here. Patterson, nice spin move, inside feed, shot, blocked by Beckman.
Yeah, that's a poor approach to the goal. I mean, he had a good shot. That was Logan Atkins. And what happened was he just made his shooting angle too skinny. He stayed on the goal line extended instead of coming a step to glory, which is upfield into the crease and improving his shooting angle.
Here comes Beckman one-on-one with the goalie. Shot to the left of the cage.
I tell you what, that was a great man-down clear by Beckman. You know, that happens a lot of times when man-up teams are out there. They're not used to the riding formation right away, and they allow Beckman an easy clear.
Here
Beckman's all even now.
All right.
So I guess that was a a quick penalty.
Even numbers. Power play over for Harbor. And Beckman on the attack, trailing by 4, 7-3 your score. No scoring yet.
What you're seeing here is Beckman's playing an umbrella-type offense. All their guys are on the outside perimeter with one guy at the X position, which is behind the goal.
Like an umbrella.
Yeah, exactly.
I get it.
Right.
Okay, there you go.
Now they just cut 15 into the crease, and it looks like they're moving to a formation a little bit, but I think everything for the most part is just more smoke and mirrors trying to get their look.
Beckman from the X position, feed inside, shot, and a goal.
Yeah, that was a great play. They have a good dodger back at the X position, and the guy, I didn't see who was defending him at the moment, but he had to stick to the backside and to his front side, which is an easy way to beat your defenseman. And so the defenseman actually beat himself because he had to stick to his backside. So the attackman comes around, draws the slide down from the crease, and again, Harbor, typically in the past, we always slid across the crease, what's called a coma slide, right? And that slide didn't happen, so the guy came from the crease instead of the backside pipe, and then leaving the crease wide open, and there you have it. Another easy draw and dump lacrosse goal.
And that's A.J. Brown in there on the face-off for the Sailors. Beckman wins it 7-4.
It's the first win of the game for Beckman on a face-off.
And Beckman's making a game of this thing. Harbor went up 6-0, and now it's 7-4. So the Patriots dusted off the cobwebs in the first quarter, came alive in the second, and they found some life here in the second half.
You know, they have been here all day, too.
They got here early.
There was a mix-up. The Patriots came here for the first game thinking the varsity would start and the JV would follow. But we do it differently. Newport Harbor, our JV starts and our varsity finishes the showcase.
Patriots trying to cut into Harbor's lead. It's been Harbor all game long. They scored in the first minute. Luke Barnes did. And Beckman has yet to catch up, but they're making a run of it here. Defense there by Troy Kennedy with the long stick.
Beckman's getting much better possession. It's a great look, a great shot off the pipe.
Off the pipe possession. Possession goes to Beckman. They have it just past goal line extended.
They got to get stick. There's a lot of checks.
Shot saved
by Jerome.
Nice save by Jerome Snyder.
Good outlook pass. And we still got a fast break opportunity there. There it is into the offensive side of Newport Harbor. And they got even numbers. But this is a dodging play where Brutman can beat his man.
Brutman, nice feed to Barnes. Shot by Barnes. Ooh, saved by Beckman. Barnes chases it down. Possession, Newport Harbor.
Put too much thought in that shot. Instead of just letting it go, he tried to give another fake instead of just firing away.
Brutman on the feed.
They're forcing it now.
Mishandled by Knowles. Nice position by Knowles.
Yeah, it's a nice down cut, but they're forcing it now. They need to just settle down, spread the field, spread out the Beckman defense.
There's Caden Knowles who comes up with it.
Another fantastic kid. Caden Knowles was a baseball player. Never played lacrosse until he got to Newport Harbor. And he's really turned out. He was kind of an undersized freshman.
Shot by Barnes.
Great look, inside look from Will Patterson to Barnes. We're saying Caden Knowles was about 5'4" as a freshman. He's now 6'2", maybe 6'3".
Wow.
Good inside look to Brutman and a nice finish from Brosnan to Brutman.
Brosnan to Brutman. Aiden Brutman with his fourth goal of the game puts the Sailors doubling up Beckman 8-4. The score from Davidson Field. Sailors over Patriots. 7:05 to go in the third quarter. And the assist goes to Owen Brosnan, his second of the afternoon. Brutman, you said this is his first varsity game, right, Coach? Aiden Brutman?
First varsity game in 3 years of playing the varsity.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's because he unfortunately had the injury bug.
Well?
He's had broken hands, broken feet, a broken jaw, and some other probably things that have happened.
Well, he's healthy, and he's got 4 goals in this game. That's got to feel good for him, his family, and for his current and former coaches.
Absolutely. He's a testament to fortitude and perseverance. Fantastic kid. What a great story.
Errant pass by Beckman, chased down, and the Sailors will have possession here.
Yeah, that's a great hustle play by Ryder Jackson on that to beat the ball out of bounds.
Snyder.
Threw it into crowd there, but looks like Fogelman will be able to fight for the ground ball.
Fogelman fighting for it, played linebacker last night for the Sailors and scoops it up, crosses midfield in his lacrosse uniform. Probably got home, took off his pads, and had to get up this morning and put his lax pads on right away. I mean, you know those kids are sore.
Oh, you know, and they had to get the ball out of Noah's stick quickly because his legs must feel like concrete.
Oh, sure. First varsity football game in 475 days. And now his first lacrosse game in 365 days. So, shaking all kinds of rust and cobwebs off.
And here's Harbor on the ride and Beckman on the clear. Good defense so far. Oh, flag down. I guess they're going to say that Troy got him in the helmet.
So it'll be a penalty.
Yeah.
It'll be a man-up opportunity for Beckman.
Yeah, that was kind of a brush. It looked like the offensive player from Beckman had hit his helmet with his own stick, but his stick hit him in the helmet because Troy made the check that pushed his stick into his helmet. So we'll see here.
Beckman's
doing a great job of ball movement, much better than what they did in the first quarter. Nice, calm, patient.
working all around the whole perimeter. Nice defense there by Fogelman.
Yeah. And the ref called another flag.
What's the call there?
Well, Noah's got to try to get stick. He was checking him, but slapping him across the back and not trying to get stick. So it's kind of a little bit of a petty call. We see those checks happen all the time, but, to the ref's point, Noah needs to get the stick to the front side of the defenseman. That's what we talked about earlier when one of the Newport Harbor guys got beat earlier in the game is the defenseman didn't get a stick to the front side to the attackman. So
is it a one-man or a two-man power play right now?
Two-man power play. Two-man, man up, or man down for Newport Harbor. Two-man, man up for Beckman.
8-4, 5:30 to go in the third quarter. Beckman, two-man up here. Shot. Correction, pass. Now a shot. Misses.
Yeah, Beckman did what's called a wheel play on man up. And that's a really easy play to beat a four-man defense.
Beckman takes it away from Wyatt Smith, feeds it inside, and a goal for Dean Conley from the Patriots. Two-man up. They're able to capitalize on it, and they cut into Harbor's lead. 8-5 now. The score still favors the Sailors. It has all afternoon. 5:17 to go in the third.
Boy, that's, with two men down, that's a tough. It's like putting fingers in a dam and it's leaking everywhere, right? So Beckman's definitely getting a little bit more momentum coming back here.
What do you do, Coach? What do you tell the team, or what would you draw up for the team to try to stop the bleeding? I know when Harbor had it on the attack last time, you thought they were forcing it a little bit.
Yeah, forcing it on offense and in defense is just every coach says this, but it's true. This is just fundamentals. There's certain things that you do and you don't do, and we just aren't doing the things we need to do and
Mason
doing some
Williams,
things we shouldn't.
Mason Williams wins another face-off. He's been pretty efficient out there.
Mason is trying to get some Division I looks back east. He's been to a lot of recruiting camps and face-off camps, and he's done a really good job to work himself to where he's getting looks from the West Coast. He actually played for the West Coast Stars as a sophomore and was a standout player for them.
Will Patterson has got it just outside the box.
So it looks like Newport settling down. Luke Barnes clears through to the left wing that it's usually his home base and lets Owen Brosnan pick it up. Owen's kind of just setting up. It's interesting. Luke is operating from his opposite wing. I wonder if they have something planned here. What you see is Brutman and Barnes are switched sides.
Shot by Charlie Durante.
Outside of the net.
Scooped up by Beckman.
Interesting clear Beckman's doing. They're spreading the field underneath, and they have one guy streaking across from the midfield. It's a good clear against this particular ride defense that Newport Harbor is playing.
They're able to.
And they effectively did it. They cleared the ball.
Cleared the ball, outrun the Sailors' ride. Inside shot falling down. Snyder was there. He gets back up. Sailors' defense swarming to the ball and preventing the Beckman goal. Snyder blocked it, got back up on his feet, saved it again. The first-year goalkeeper.
And Snyder is a wonderful kid. Jerome was selfless. He's a pilot. He got his pilot license, I think, before he got his driver's license.
Airplanes?
Yes.
Oh, and a long shot there by Dean
15.
Conley.
Yeah.
On a frozen rope, connects, and Beckman cuts into the Sailors' lead 8-6. Just two now for the Sailors, the closest this game has been since the first quarter. 3:29 to go in the third. 8-6 Sailors lead, but Beckman finds pay dirt.
It's interesting. This Beckman team, as I look at their roster here, not many seniors. Number 15, Dean Connolly's a senior, but he's one of, I think, 6 seniors. The rest are juniors and sophomores, and even a freshman that's playing for Beckman right now.
Let's see.
So they're a young team like the Newport Harbor team. Although I think Newport Harbor has, at least 10 seniors on the team this year.
Face-off won again by the Sailors. This time A.J. Brown scoops it over to Luke Barnes. They're able to clear it, and Harbor will set up on attack, up by 2 in the final 3 minutes of this third period. Beckman has seized some momentum in the second half of this game. Scoring a couple of goals here. Harbor just one goal in this quarter. Barnes inside. Patterson. Pay dirt.
Great play from Barnes to Patterson.
Will Patterson nets his first goal of the afternoon on the pass from Luke Barnes, his second assist. And the Sailors are able to answer the Beckman goal. 2:59 to go here in the third quarter. 9-6. 9-6 Sailors lead over the Beckman Patriots. Opening game of the season for both these teams. And head coach David Todd, my color commentator's brother, in his first year seeking his first career victory at the helm of the Sailors.
I'm seeing some of my old families down there waving hi to a bunch of Newport Harbor alumni parents, and it's always great to see in Newport Harbor. It's such a family thing. Many families have their sons have graduated, and they still come out and support the program. And they do that with football all the time too, which is just wonderful and a testament to the Newport Harbor community here.
Sailors back on the attack, winning the face-off again, looking to put things back in their control a little bit more. Beckman been threatening here in this second half. Will Patterson dodging inside, shot and a goal, and that's Logan Atkins. Not Will Patterson, Logan Atkins. He gets on the board for the first time today.
Great bull dodge, he does a bull dodge into a roll dodge, a bull dodge into a roll dodge, and then another bull dodge to get by three Beckman defensemen to get that shot off.
Coach has to hop on the PA here and announce the goal, but I am gonna have to ask as a lacrosse amateur the difference between a roll dodge and a bull dodge. But in the meantime, we'll give you the score: 10-6. Sailors back up on top. Beckman had cut it to 2, the closest the game had been since the first quarter, and now the Sailors able to get themselves a little bit of breathing room. Goal there by Logan Atkins after another goal by Will Patterson. Now, Coach, difference between a roll dodge and a bull dodge. Explain it to me.
Sure. Bull dodge is where you just lower your shoulder and you overpower the guy and you run by him. Just what Mason Williams just did there.
And credit to Mason Williams winning another face-off. What's the call here?
I have no idea.
Whistles on the field, and Beckman ends up with possession. We don't know what happened. And if head coach or former head coach Mark Todd doesn't know what happened, then no one knows what happened on that call.
So something like that is usually a substitution call. So maybe there was an illegal substitution on the sideline.
Beckman feed inside. Shot, gets past Snyder, and touches the twine. And all of a sudden, fireworks popping off here in the third quarter. Lack of defense and an uptick in the offense. 10-7 your score favors the Sailors still. 2:03 to go here in the third.
Newport's playing a lot of stick checks and nobody behind it. So it's easy to run through a 1-pound stick, not a 200-pound person. So they need to put their bodies in front of the guy, do a little bit better job of that on defense. And again, this is for every defender out there, this is their first game except for starting on varsity, except for Troy Kennedy.
17 seniors. You lost Aiden Goltz, Rhett Farmer, Garrett Rovazzini in the goal, Michael Morrison, Jackson Sewell.
Hutton Wooters. I mean, we had a ton of incredible kids with incredible talent. All of those kids could be playing at college at the next level.
A.J. Brown fighting for it, scooped up there.
Johnny Schex.
Jonathan Schex able to clean up the garbage. Inside feed, shot, blocked by Beckman.
Feed.
Aiden Brutman wanted his 5th goal of the game.
And Johnny Schex wanted his first assist.
Pass inside, another good look at it. Misses wide right of the cage. Harbor now flipping up the offensive firepower.
You know, and that's Aiden Brutman's vision. He's got a great vision. And to see Logan Atkins cutting down the center of the field right there, and Logan just missed the goal.
Sailors retain possession on the attack. Will Patterson passes it up top.
Charlie Durante's got the short stick matchup. Let's see what Harbor's settling into here now. It looks like they're just going to work the ball around and just try to find their matchup right now. I don't see too much off-ball movement right now. They're just looking to make sure everybody touches it.
Final 75 seconds of the third quarter. Sailors up by 3, 10-7 your score in favor of Newport Harbor. Both teams 0-0. Home opener for the Sailors. Season opener, obviously, for both squads.
They're definitely looking to get their matchups here, and it looks like they've rotated Mitty down. Yeah, Will Patterson back to X, but Will's drawing a long stick midfielder.
Luke Barnes dodging inside, lost the ball.
Away.
Fight for it. See if a white jersey can come up with it.
And Barnes does.
Barnes ends up cleaning up the mess there.
35 seconds.
Oh, Patterson uncorked one.
To bottom corner. A good placement on the shot. The Beckman goalie just had a great step to it, and it made a really nice save. High-quality save there by the Beckman goalie. Beckman clearing. Let's see if they can try to put one in before the end of the period.
Final 20 seconds of this third period. Beckman down by 7, trying to get a look at it. Let's see if they can get something off. Final 10 seconds of this quarter. Beckman dodging inside, spinning, shot, and it's good.
Goal.
Beckman able to connect with 3 seconds on the clock until the fourth quarter. Beckman cuts back into the Sailors' lead. A back and forth quarter. It's been 10-8. Sailors are up by 2, but again, they went up by 4. Beckman struck back. They went up 6-0. Beckman strikes back. So the Sailors unable to fully put their foot on the gas or foot on the throat of the Beckman Patriots.
Well, they had a lot of good shots down on the offensive side. On the defensive side, the same problem we saw in the previous goal where they're sliding to the ball with their sticks and not with their bodies. And so you saw the Beckman guy who was able to get that goal threaded to defensemen who just didn't close the gap on them.
I know that your brother, head coach David Todd, can't be happy with giving up a goal like that with just 3 ticks on the clock before the end of the quarter.
You know, that's a great momentum swing right there in Beckman's favor. But, you know, we have a lot of kids. This fourth quarter is interesting. You know, this will really show the off-season training and conditioning here, because what I'm expecting to see in the fourth quarter is Newport. You know, it looks like they've been playing their entire bench. We've seen 6 different attackmen on the field so far, and so and I've seen 6 different midfielders on the field. So I'm expecting there to be more activity there. But there's a stick check right now. Currently, they're checking Mason Williams' stick.
What are they checking for?
They're checking for depth, and they're checking for the length of the stick and the width of the head. So there's 3 different measurements in it. They assume maybe his stick isn't regulation because of how good he's been doing on the face-off, or what's? Well,
what's
sure, that's one of the things. And what oftentimes the code is like you typically don't check a face-off man's stick because the face-off stick gets pinched in the process of facing off throughout the day. The only time you ever do that it's even kosher to do that, so to speak, is when there were heads that were manufactured that were outlawed from the NCAA and the high school federation. So those are the heads that you have to be careful that kids can sometimes play with.
Well, it looks like they determined that Mason Williams' stick was okay. Doesn't matter. 3 seconds on the clock. The horn sounds, and we're headed to the fourth with a close game.
Well, you know, it's interesting. Had that been an illegal stick, it would have either been, if the pocket was too deep, it would have been a 1-minute penalty. If the shaft was too short or the head was pinched, a 3-minute non-releasable penalty.
Wow.
Yeah, so it would have been a huge swing in the momentum of the game.
I mean, 3-minute penalty. That's huge.
Yeah, that's a huge penalty. And it would have been a huge swing in the game. And fortunately, Mason, that happened once before against Servite last year in a playoff game. And Mason's stick was a little deep at the time.
Determined illegal.
Right, but what happens in a game, too, as the game goes on to Mason's defense, is if you keep your stick on the pocket, just on a borderline of being legal, after a couple passes and catches, it starts to break in, it starts to pound in.
Got it. The
then
netting ends up getting
stretching.
Yes, got it. Well, we'll take a quick breather here from Davidson Field. A couple minutes to go until the start of the fourth quarter. When we come back, Sailors lead by 2 over Beckman, but the Patriots seizing some momentum in the third. 10-8 your score. Sailors lead. You're watching Newport Harbor Boys Lacrosse on TarTV. Welcome back into TarTV. Alex Crawford, the old coach. Mark Todd, I don't want to call you an old coach, but you are the old coach for the Newport Harbor Sailors. 10 years at the helm of the Sailor ship. Now your brother, David Todd, he's running the show here. How's it feel to be up here in the booth looking down at your brother on the sideline as Mason Williams wins yet another faceoff? Very prolific at the faceoff position. Him and A.J. Brown have been today for the Sailors.
Well, it's much more relaxing being up here with you, Alex. You take a lot of burden off my shoulders in the play-by-play commentary and guiding me as a broadcast person. And then as a coach, I kind of have a lot of empathy for my brother, as you would expect.
Oh, Luke Barnes
Great
inside!
play.
Nothing but the back of the net for Luke Barnes.
Inside roll, Luke Barnes.
Time seemed to slow down for the senior. His second goal of the afternoon. Great way to start the quarter for the Newport Harbor Sailors. 11-8 now, your score in favor of Newport Harbor with 11:33 to go in this game. Barnes, 2 goals, 2 assists for the captain, one of the captains on the Sailors team.
Luke is a natural lefty, and that was a true basketball move where he posted this guy up on the far post from where we are, sideline post of the goal, and then just inside rolled on this guy and made a great shot.
Loved watching Luke out there on the hardwood as Sailors win another face-off. I don't have the exact stats, but I would estimate it to be around 90% of the face-offs won today.
Easily. I've only
maybe 95.
Yeah, I only saw one Beckman draw go Beckman's way so far.
That's Charlie Durante with it. Played for the Sailors last night in the football game. And back up top to Logan Atkins.
Logan's got a short stick matchup and a lot of dodging room.
Oh, nice move. Atkins, shot. Oh, Brutman was there. I wanted to call Brutman's 5th goal of the game. I wanted to make the cross mark across the tally.
So they're calling a push against Newport Harbor. Ball is going to Beckman.
Beckman possession, trailing by 3. Sailors got that nice 6-goal cushion.
So what happened there is the referee started the game prematurely because one of the players on Beckman had his stick came undone. And technically, the player's supposed to run off the field and not adjust his stuff right there. That is a reffing error there, too, because we are, as coaches, are trained to tell the players.
Good save by the Patriots.
Get off the field if your gear is not working.
And a long pass ends up in the stick of Jerome Snyder. Outlet ahead across midfield. Logan Atkins has it.
Nice 50-yard pass.
Snyder looking like a quarterback. Will Patterson uncorking one and hits the back of the net. Patterson, his 2nd goal of the afternoon from long range, testing the rocket launcher, and the Sailors lead 12-8. Logan Atkins on the assist, his 1st of the afternoon. 12-8. Sailors up over Beckman. 10:07 to go in the game. Love the wind up by Will Patterson. Powerful shot. You know, Coach.
Textbook perfect shot. Nice hard bounce shot to the offside shoulder of the goalie. It's a tough shot to save.
I don't know if our viewers can hear or if they're aware that you're doing the PA announcing here, but, you know, I think you got a future in that. I don't know what the market demand is for lacrosse PA announcers.
Well, if not that, maybe the WWF.
Yeah. There's some crossover there. Oh, nice move.
Great
Shot.
play.
Misses, but Cooper Hempstead was, slashing towards the goal.
Great play by Cooper Hempstead, a sophomore, and just a heck of a player, heck of an athlete.
That's Luke O'Brien with it.
So Harbor's getting all their bench. The entire team is touching the field. It's great to see that all the kids are putting in this work in the offseason are getting some playing time.
Well, you pointed out before the game, Coach, the bench of Beckman looking a little bit thin. We talk about conditioning coming into play. Fourth quarter here, Harbor, a lot of substitutions, a lot of fresh legs for the Sailors.
Yeah, this is going to work out for them. That pass will not work out for them, unfortunately.
No.
It was an inside shoulder pass. It should have been an outside shoulder pass.
9:07 to go in the ball game, and the Sailors are up by 4. Did you say ball game in lacrosse?
Say ball game.
Okay.
We usually say quarter, but we say period too. Nice
Okay.
ride.
Oh, there we go. Scooped up. That's Luke O'Brien.
Luke O'Brien's another kid. Never played lacrosse till he came to Newport Harbor. Really worked his tail off, and it's just another great success story of kids who find the sport. We find a position for them in the sport, and they just go on to have great success and great camaraderie with their teammates.
Barnes splits a pair of Beckman defenders, takes it down around goal line extended to the X position. Now cuts it back, wrapping around inside shot.
Great shovel shot. They saved it outside the goal. I thought that was in. That's a great shot.
Oh, it was a nice shot. Beckman, great defense. A great shot and a little bit better defense by Beckman, but I like the look by Barnes.
Yeah, nice shovel shot. A shovel shot is an underhand backhanded pass, or shot in this case.
And Patriots able to clear it. On the attack now, trailing by 4. They've got 8 points, and there's 8 minutes to go in this ball game.
Let's see what Newport Harbor does. Defensively, they're matching up properly. They got one guy floating around looking for a guy who's coming in from the box right now.
Beckman.
Good talk from Newport Harbor on the defensive side. Everyone's calling out their positioning. Overplay there by they dodged a bullet there. Tight legs. Noah Fogelman overran his guy on the wing. You know his legs got to be heavy.
Oh, for sure. Playing linebacker, Sailors. Big win last night over Yorba Linda. Defense came up huge in the second half, so I know Durante and Fogelman are got to be dragging a little bit out there.
We talked to Coach Emerson at halftime, and we talked about the game, and it looks like they made some defensive changes that made the difference in the game last time. There's a ward there from the Beckman player that did not get called with the referee standing right there on the spot and didn't call it.
Oh, nice check there by Checks.
That's a moving pick also that did not get called.
High pass caught, inside feed, disrupted by the Sailors. Shot.
Outside net.
It's the outside of the net. Sailors fighting for it.
Nice ground ball pick up there.
Bryce McBeth scoops it up and passes it ahead to Jonathan Checks.
Jonathan Checks got great wheels. Another kid plays football.
Dodges the check, passes it ahead, and
it's out of bounds.
Owen Brosnan unable to corral that one, but nice move by Checks there right around midfield.
He's another guy that played football last night.
Yes, another say. You could see how much these kids are happy to have sports back when they're willing to suit up, play tackle football on a Friday, and then get back here on the lacrosse field at noon the next day.
At varsity level, too.
Varsity level, and, you know, a physical sport.
Yeah. So here's a ride. There should be a double team there. They should really pencil him in. I don't see 27 while he's not coming up. There's Wanch, I think. Yeah.
Patterson checking aggressively. Beckman in the crease. Nice hit there.
Body. See a little bit more body on the ball carriers now. Stick work.
Fogelman showing off some of his linebacker skills there. Inside
Good
shot.
check.
Bounces high.
Good home run check on the last second there by number 20, and that's Bryson McBeth. Bryson got beat to the inside a little bit, but was able to make a recovery check and help make that shot go a little awry.
We got a timeout. 5:32 to go in the game. Sailors up by 4, 12-8.
Alex, when you were a lacrosse player back in the day.
Okay, I'm going to try my best to remember.
Back in the day before they had the face mask on the helmet.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago. It wasn't that long ago.
What was the thing that you found to be the most difficult? Was it the conditioning? Was it the running?
No, so I went from lacrosse when I got to Harbor, then I did cross country and track.
So for you, or natural?
The running was great. For me, really, it was the cradling and the use of the stick. You know, it was the hand-eye coordination and the use of the tool of the stick. That for me was, I was more suited to. The running part's easy. Go run in a straight line. Go run on the track, whatever. It was, for me, more of the hand-eye coordination, just getting used to something, an extra accessory.
When you think about it, so when you think about lacrosse, why it's so much more difficult, hockey players, everything's below the hips for the most part, as far as the hand-eye coordination goes.
Yeah.
Right? And you're gliding.
Yes.
You're not bouncing when you're running.
Yes.
So lacrosse, you got a little bit of bounce in your run, right? But you have the entire sphere from the ground to the sky of where the ball could possibly go.
Sure.
And where it would probably go. So catching the hand-eye coordination to give yourself a little bit of leeway there. Don't worry, it's very, very hard.
For sure. No, yeah. Am I scooping it up off the ground? Now I'm running. Oh, by the way, I got to be cradling while I run. Oh, by the way, people are now hitting me with metal poles while I run. So there's all that's happening, and I'm like.
And people are screaming at you.
Oh, yeah.
Moms and dads are yelling, go, go, go from the sideline, and all you hear is wah, wah, wah,
yes.
wah, wah, wah.
So for me, that was a part where I'm like, wow, there is a lot going on in this sport. There is a lot going on.
It really is. And now when you play it more, just like anything, everything starts to slow down. And
sure, yes.
For instance, Aiden Gulch, when he's last week, we saw the game for him slow down at Bryant, where he was a freshman playing at the next college level, and he went ahead and scored 4 goals today. Our broadcast is being played back in Rhode Island.
Okay.
And Aiden Gulch had texted me. Their game against Wagner was canceled today due to COVID cases.
That's too bad, man. That's too bad. But you said Goltz is holding his own back there on the East Coast.
Yeah, he's kind of getting used to the cold weather. Well, he is part Canadian.
Okay, okay.
and he's kind of settled in, and he's made great teammates and great strides in class too.
That cold-blooded Canadian heritage. Beckman now on the attack after the timeout. They trail by 4. Just over 5 minutes to go in this game. Sailors have never trailed. Went up 6-0 in the first. An excellent defense there by Noah Fogelman.
Yeah, forced pass to the inside. Nice play by Noah.
Feeds it ahead to his football teammate, Charlie Durante.
Push from behind, and they let it go on. Owen Brosnan picks it up and kind of settles the ball down. That's exactly what they needed to do right there.
Harbor now on the attack, inside of 5 minutes to go. They work it over to Brutman, having himself quite the day. 4 goals for number 4 in his first varsity game.
Brutman.
As you said, he's been bit by the injury bug, so it's got to feel even better for him to be out here on the field, netting 4 goals and after a year off with no lacrosse.
You know, I've not – last time I had coached him was as a youth player. And he was such a fantastic youth player. He's kind of like a dog off the chain. When you take him off the leash and just start running around in a circle, he had so much energy. He's so fast, too. So he was a great player to watch as a youth player, and now watch him return to high school.
Durante dodging inside, saved by Beckman.
Oh, great play by Luke Barnes.
Oh,
that was
Barnes!
fantastic. With a BTB finish after the ground ball pickup in front of the goal.
Absolutely beautiful by Luke Barnes behind the back. No-look goal for the hat trick from the senior captain. That puts the Sailors up 13-8. 4:11 to go in this game. I wish we had replay on this TarTV broadcast because that's one you'd want to see again. That's one that would make the SportsCenter top 10.
That was a fantastic play. And the goal came off a hustle play. It was a ground ball in front of the goal. Luke picked it up, stepped past the goalie, and then the goalie follows him, and then he puts it to the backside. So what Luke did, by stepping one more step past the goalie's going to follow the ball. And it opened up the backside of the net for the behind-the-back shot.
Well, you know what I've liked about Luke Barnes thus far in this first game is the variety of shot selection.
Absolutely.
We saw the shuffle shot behind the back.
Inside roll.
Just all kinds of different looks from Luke Barnes. Inside feed there to Eli Latham.
Yeah, good to see Eli Latham back. He had taken a little while off since his freshman year, and now returns to Newport Harbor. I think he's a sophomore. A senior or a junior.
Nice takeaway by Beckman to prevent any further damage by the Sailors, but there to scoop it up is Fogelman.
The ride prevails.
Been really impressed by the ride of Newport Harbor in this opening game. As you said, that's a signature of the program, and it looks like it didn't go away when you left.
That's right. It looks like they're doing the same ride we did last year, and it's a zone ride, and so everybody looks open, but everybody looks covered. So it's when you throw it into a player, it's kind of a gambit in the sense where I hope my guy gets it, but it's kind of a risk.
As opposed to a man ride would be what each Harbor defender there is assigned one of the players. Zone, you've got your zone.
Yeah, you
got it.
You got
yes,
your area,
that makes
right?
sense. That makes sense.
And it's kind of an aggressive zone where most times in defense they tell you not to attack the ball upfield, right, because the ball's going the other way. So this zone is counterintuitive that it does attack the ball upfield, but it backfills from the backside. So you'll see if it's on this near sideline, the guys will come upfield, but we're backfilling from the far sideline to fill in those gaps that are closer to the goal.
Coach, you know your brother better than most. New head coach here at Newport Harbor. 3:18 to go in this game, and the Sailors up by 5. What do you tell your team here in this timeout?
Stay calm. Do not and possess the ball, because Beckman has been they've been tenacious, you know, and if they get the ball and they get some enthusiasm, you know, while it's a nice lead they got right now, it's not big enough. You know, Beckman can close that. It's enough time to close that gap.
Now, lacrosse question might be a little bit elementary, but there's no shot clock once you have the ball down on attack. Is there in lacrosse?
Only in college and pros.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Yep. And they've been talking about it, bringing it to the high school game. But the problem is it's cost prohibitive because then you got to get shot clocks for every high school.
Harbor on the attack. Trying to get it inside. Fight for the loose ball.
Yeah. Will Patterson picked up a big ground ball there. Errant catch. That is Trevor Emerson, the son of football coach Emerson.
Big win for Sailors football last night. Opened things up. It had been 475 days since they played a game.
With Noah Chappelle.
They beat Yorba Linda 24-23. Chappelle, as you said, one of the quickest guys on the team. His pass a little bit too high. And Beckman trying to get it across.
That's a push.
And that will draw a whistle from the official. He'll give possession to Beckman.
So they'll do this, you know, I've seen this repeatedly in Orange County Lacrosse, and other coaches will testify. If the score is going into one team's favor,
okay,
they tend to, you know, want to see a good game. So they give the ball to the other thing. I thought Troy Kennedy did a great job boxing out his guy, but when he did it, you know, he may have stepped on the line doing it before he got the push.
Oh, pass misses everything, out of bounds. Possession, Newport Harbor. Clock ticking down just inside of 2 minutes to go in this lacrosse game, this ball game.
So that's kind of interesting. There was two whistles there, two start whistles there. Noah started, and then a ref then blew the whistle, and then Noah stopped.
Oh, Snyder able to clean up the mess and pushes it ahead to Fogelman across the midfield line to Will Patterson. 90 seconds to go. Sailors up by 5. They're going to get another look at it.
Emerson down
Pass
to
inside. Shot and a goal.
To number 9.
Eli Latham.
Eli Latham. That's amazing.
Connects to put the Sailors up 6. And effectively put this thing away. Drive the nail into the Beckman coffin. Lower it into the ground. And throw some dirt on it. 1:23 to go, and the Sailors lead 14-8. An assist goes to Trevor Emerson, his first assist of the afternoon.
Eli Latham's first goal as a Newport Harbor Sailor.
Wow.
And that's a great clean face-off win, but AJ took too many steps with it. So if you take more than 2 steps with the ball in the back of your pocket, they call it a procedural penalty and change possession back to Beckman.
Possession, Beckman, just over a minute to go in this game. The Patriots trail by 6. Barring a miracle to top all miracles, Sailors will prevail, and head coach David Todd will get his first victory, taking over for his brother, the guy standing to my left on this broadcast, Mark Todd.
Well, we have an injured player. There was a shot, and one of the players took it. Don't know where he took it, but he took a knee. And that is number 69, Wyatt Smith, who got hit with the ball, absorbing the shot on goal. So
using his body to,
using his body to block the shot. So
good defense. I mean, he paid for it, but good defense.
Yeah, our goalie Jerome Snyder didn't have to even make a save on that one.
Last minute of this game, 6-point lead for the Sailors. Beckman trying to get another shot on goal.
Bryson McBeth, good job defending there. Got to stick to the front side as the Beckman rolls to the front side of the goal.
Beckman retaining possession.
Good look inside, just a little bit too high.
That was a nice look. Sailors
collide to each other.
Defenders a little too eager, and Snyder comes away with it.
But flag down is for unnecessary roughness.
Unnecessary roughness against the Sailors.
So that will give Beckman a man up, and the unnecessary roughness is against our linebacker, Noah Fogelman.
Well, you expect some unnecessary roughness out of a football player, especially a linebacker out there.
You want unnecessary roughness from a linebacker, but
yeah, well, because if
not in a critical situation, fortunately.
No, but right there, it's good.
Critical.
It's good. I mean, it's great to see he's still got some juice from last night's game.
Good save by Jerome.
Final 20 seconds of the game. Snyder working the cage.
Pick up by Dylan Wanch on the ground ball. Back over to Dylan Wanch.
Sailors playing keep away. Clock ticks down inside of 10 seconds.
And Bryson McBeth chucks the ball downfield.
2, 1. The horn sounds, and that does it. Head coach David Todd starts his tenure at Newport Harbor with a dub. 14-8, the Sailors win over Beckman. It had been 1 year to the day since Newport Harbor played Lacrosse, and they opened things up with a victory. 14-8, the Sailors win and move to 1-0 on the season. Beckman drops to 0-1. Nice offensive showing by Newport Harbor. Coach, I want to ask you, what did you like out of that game? Obviously, we like the win. Obviously, you got to be stoked. Your first game, not coaching for the Sailors in a decade. Come out here and get a win.
Super happy for my brother. Super happy for the coaches, everybody that came back, and especially for these players. These players have not had a chance to play, as you said, Alex, for a year, and they're the ones who've really been suffering the most. I mean, athletes, these kids are thoroughbreds. They want to run. They want to get outside, and COVID just did everything against that to keep them locked in, especially lacrosse players. Lacrosse players are built to run. And these guys getting back after, as you said, some kids doing double duty, playing football last night, playing it again today. And just to see the fun that they had, even Beckman, even though they lost, they had thin numbers. They just went through a head coaching change themselves, too, at Beckman, literally a month before the season started. So they probably had even more hurdles to overcome. And so Beckman should be, touted for their effort. They did give a great effort. They came back and they fought very hard, and I thought they were very impressive and relentless in their pursuit to try to make this a game. And so I'm pretty proud of the Newport Harbor kids. I know they got the jitters out, and now it's next week. Their next game is, what does he say?
Well, their next game is going to be on St. Patrick's Day. It's an away game at 5:30, so we won't have that broadcast for you. But Mark will be back in 1 week from today on Saturday the 20th, a home game against, I believe, Chaparral.
Chaparral, yep.
Yep, Chaparral. I need to double-check our schedule because we'll only be doing the home broadcast here on TarTV, but we'll be doing pretty much all of those. So we'll be back in 1 week for the Sailors' third game of the season against Chaparral.
Ironically, on St. Patrick's Day, the Sailors are playing Mater Dei, who we were supposed to play last year on St. Patrick's Day.
Okay.
And then we didn't get a chance to play. And Beckman, their next game is against another Orange County team, Edison High School. Another Sunset League team, and that's loaded with athletes and should be a very interesting matchup.
Well, I look down at the field. I see another guy who would have played last night dealing with a shoulder sprain right now, Joe Nip, wide receiver for the Sailors football team, and also another lacrosse player, double duty. So very much looking forward to having Joe Nip back, both on the gridiron and on the lacrosse field.
So Joe Nip hurt his shoulder snowboarding. So now I use him as my perfect poster boy for why we don't let the players go on ski week.
Oh, he's got to be so frustrated because you finally get football and lacrosse back, and now he's got to miss a couple games with the shoulder sprain. Oh, he's got to be so frustrated.
Yeah, that's the exact reason why we don't allow him to go on winter break. Plus, baseball stays here for winter break.
No, don't go carve into that fresh powder on ski week as the papers go flying. A little bit of a gust of wind here.
Wow, that was unexpected.
Unexpected gust of wind at Davidson Field, and you know what? We'll deal with that. Luckily, the paper biodegradable, so we'll be okay. I don't need the papers, and someone will get a free souvenir there. Coach,
yes,
big
sir.
win for your brother. First game. First time in a decade you didn't coach the Sailors, and they move to 1-0 with a big win over the Beckman Patriots, 14-8. I'm excited for this lacrosse season. I'm looking forward to calling more games with you.
Thank you, Alex. You are a pro and a pleasure to hang out with and talk lacrosse with. Thank you.
Well, I appreciate that. I don't know about the talking lacrosse part. I still have a lot to learn, but I learned a lot doing this game with you. And just to remind you, we got a couple shout-outs to give. First of all, I just want to walk again through who scored goals. 14 on the board for the Sailors. Aiden Brutman put 4 in, also got himself an assist playing in his first varsity game. One of the captains, Luke Barnes, had a nice game. Hat trick for him in the goal column and 2 assists. Logan Atkins with a goal and an assist. Will Patterson with 2 goals and 1 assist, another captain for the Sailors. Owen Brosnan with 1 goal and 2 assists. Paul Jensen found pay dirt.
Yep.
Trevor Emerson had himself an assist, and Eli Latham with the last goal of the game for Newport Harbor. So that's 14 goals for the Sailors, holding Beckman to 8. Sailors win by 6.
So many kids got on in the book, some of them for the first time ever. What was also great was you'll see some of the coaches over there limping around like my brother. Just got his knees done. He's getting work over it.
Oh, okay.
Newport, he's doing his rehab at Newport Oh my God, forget it. But it's at the YMCA. They're
You're trying to give some love to your brother's knee rehab, and we don't know the name.
He told me the name. I didn't write it down anyway.
Newport knee.
Newport knee.
No, over at the YMCA. Well, also I want to give a shout out because everybody, we can't have the full attendance that we might expect from a game here due to COVID regulations, and so we want to give a shout out to some of the companies that would have had banners here in the stadium, and I actually don't have that information. I thought I was going to have it on my phone. I don't. We'll get that on the next broadcast. First broadcast of the season. We got a lot of games left, and we'll make sure we give love to all the sponsors. We love all the sponsors.
Yes,
What's the website where fans, parents, people tuning in can go to learn more about Newport Harbor Lacrosse and learn more about some of our awesome boosters and sponsors here?
Well, Alex, thank you so much for having me. And,
what is the website?
The website.
Yes. What is for Newport Harbor Lacrosse? Is it NHHSLax.com?
Yes. That's exactly right. Yeah.
NHHS. Okay, I want to make sure I didn't give the wrong one. NHHSLax.com. Go on there. Find out more about the team. Next game is against Mater Dei on the road on Wednesday, St. Patty's Day. And, Coach, you and I will be back here next Saturday taking on Chaparral.
You got it. I look forward to it.
I can't wait. Sailors win 14-8 over Beckman. Big thanks and big shout-out to our TarTV crew coming out here on a Saturday, Sydney Griffin and John Hoist. Also, big thanks, obviously, to the coaching staffs for both of these teams. Thank you to Dr. Jerry Murray, our athletic director, Principal Sean Bolton, Dr. Sean Bolton for having the vision to put this TarTV live stream together. And a big shout-out and a thank you to all of our viewers on TarTV across the nation. For my broadcast partner, Mark Todd, and for all of the Newport Harbor Sailors faithful, this is Alex Crawford saying, from Davidson Field to the Bell Tower, from the senior lot over to the pool deck, you've been watching Newport Harbor Boys Lacrosse on TarTV. Go Sailors!
Go Sailors!